Thank you, Mike, for that really poignant safety moment. I had no idea that flaming hot Cheetos could cause that much bodily damage. I think I speak for us all when I say our thoughts and prayers are all with Mariah right now.
Thank you.
Okay, back to our agenda. We're going to talk really quickly about our HR strategic priorities. So, Sarah Jo, why don't we start with you?
Thank you very much. So I'm just wondering, have you noticed how stressed out our colleagues are? How they just can't seem to disconnect lately? I mean, like, they're super stressed out.
Work-life balance is important. What can we do about it?
I'm getting to that. So, last week, I took it upon myself to head down to the cafeteria, and I was walking through the lunch area, and I started eavesdropping on everyone's conversations. You would not believe every single table was talking about work. Every single one of them. No wonder they can't disconnect in the evening if they're not even doing it during the day at lunch.
Right.
So, I've really been doing some reflecting, and I've got this idea that you are gonna love. So, I went ahead and booked conference room for the next 30 days. Over the lunch period, I think we should invite our employees, and when I say invite, I mean mandate, our colleagues to come into the conference room, bring their lunch, no laptops, no computers, and make them socialize with each other. We're not going to spend all of our time talking about work anymore, okay? Now, I do think we should probably have a couple of change management folks in the room just to ensure that they're not talking about work. But before long, I'm telling you, stress levels are going to go down, productivity going to rise.
Brilliant, brilliant.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah Jo. Appreciate that. Honora, do you have anything you've been thinking through?
Thank you. So tell me, what motivates our employees?
Our benefits? Recognition from other employees?
Money. Believe it or not, our employees aren't here because they want to be. I asked all the employees in my bay, and they confirmed if we stopped paying them, they wouldn't continue to work.
Makes sense.
True.
So, if we want to further motivate our employees, all we have to do is pay them more. Quick raise across the board, everything will be operating like well-oiled clockwork.
Love it.
What about our budget? Aren't we trying to save money?
Easy. Do you know how much money the company spends in coffee every month? Well, neither did I, but I was at the plant last week and I noticed that these same employees kept going back to the Keurig. And so after my meeting, I asked the OP, how much coffee do these employees drink regularly? You know what the answer was? 5 cups of coffee every day.
So?
Do you know how much a cup of coffee costs? Well,
I'd like the names of those employees, please, if you don't mind.
yeah, I did jot them down,
Thank you.
so I'll email them right over. Okay, so $5. So, oh, wait, how much does it cost? So I went down to the coffee shop and I asked them how much a cup of coffee costs, and they said $3. So then 3 times 5 cups of coffee each day, that's $15 per employee every day. I mean, add it up. That's easily a 3% increase across the board, plus cost savings.
You sure about that?
I mean, cost savings, yes, plus increased employee experience. I mean, how can you beat that?
Wow.
That's amazing. Wow. Wonderful. Thank you, Honora. Very much appreciated. Hillary, do you have any thoughts?
I do. I'd actually like to go back to what Sarah Jo was mentioning about stress. So I've talked to 5 employees in the last month, and at least 2 of them worked here, and they also talked about stress. And I can relate because I come in every day and I have dozens of emails that have come in from APAC overnight, and EMEA I start sending emails at the wee hours of the morning. And it's 24/7. The alerts are going off on my phone.
You know, I think there's a way you can mute that.
No, Don, fortunately I have an easy solution. We just standardize the company's work hours globally to 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Midland time.
You mean Eastern Standard Time?
No, Midland time, Don. I mean, sure, some people might have to work late occasionally, but it should cut down on those after-hour emails significantly.
Are you sure this would work for all of our sites?
I had the same question, and so I reached out to people in South Charleston, Knoxville, Carrollton. I reached out to our colleagues in Latin America, and they were all okay with it. So that's a very significant sample size.
Wonderful. I really appreciate the due diligence you did there, Hillary. Well
You're
done. Well done. Okay, in the interest of time, John, do you have anything to add?
Shelley, I sure do. Thank you. All right. So we all know that happy employees equals better engagement scores, right? So all we have to do is figure out what makes them happy. Yesterday, I spent a few hours behind that fern in the coffee shop just trying to get a feel for what our employees are talking about. Now, I will admit that after the 7th triple soy macchiato, things got a little fuzzy. But what I did detect was 2 employees talking about how happy they are with our adoption assistance benefits. Who knew? Well, that got me thinking. If those 2 employees are so happy about it, surely every employee would be happy about that. So all we need to do is mandate at least 1 adoption per employee per year.
Nice.
Every employee gets the benefit of enjoying our adoption assistance program. Happy employees.
Thinking outside the box.
Yeah.
What about all the adoption leave? Wouldn't that lead to a drop in productivity? You know, previous life choices they may have made?
Don, don't you remember last year? We went to all those meetings and they talked about how improved employee engagement equals improved customer engagement, right?
Yep.
And improved customer engagement leads to improved profits.
Right.
Happy employees are engaged employees. Engaged employees drive customer engagement. Boom! Higher profits, which more than cover any temporary losses experienced through productivity losses. QED, my friend.
And John just said customer experience and employee experience, which is very important, John. Thank you for
Thank you.
doing
Well,
so.
I listen.
Thank you.
Don.
Okay, Mike, we have a few minutes left. Do you have anything to add?
Well, it's hard to compete with top quartile, I gotta admit.
I
but
know.
I do have something. I think our focus needs to be productivity. You all know about that backlog that my team's been dealing with for a couple months. And the issue there stems directly from issues with productivity.
I'm not sure productivity is a problem.
Well, you know what? I am.
How do you know?
I'll tell you how. Right here.
Ah.
You got any questions? You got any questions about that, dude? No. Okay. All signs point to no. That's beautiful.
Boom.
What I couldn't figure out, though, was what was causing our productivity to dip. I mean, what do? Same thing that he did. Same thing she did. I covertly trailed a few of my employees for a couple days. Spied on them. Overheard what they were doing. Saw what they were saying, and it was perfect. Except they kept heading into the bathrooms. Multiple times per day, they were hitting the restroom for 5 to 10 minutes at a time. That is 5 to 10 minutes of lost productivity every single time for every single employee. No wonder we got this backlog going. So how do we solve it? I have a solution. What we do is we take those restroom stalls and we convert them into temporary workstations. Simple, simple. We take the
Genius.
door right there, we hang a monitor on it. Right over there where the toilet paper dispenser is, we put a docking station, run a few wires, and voila, productivity loss is completely mitigated. And if that works, we can do this multi-generational. Phase 2, we remove some of the stall walls and create makeshift huddle rooms. There is no reason for downtime on collaboration in this company.
Love it.